Welcome to another episode of Coffee Break. I am your host, Jackie. Tonight we will talk about cash calories, Cooler Film Awards, and Fiji Wood Dance Competition, and the favorite sport amongst our secondary school kids, the Dean's Rugby. To begin with, we'll talk about cash calories with our nutritionist from Australia, Jessie, and our another nutritionist from Fiji, Litia. Thank you, Jessie and Litia, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
So, tell me about the Cash Calories campaign that you're doing right now.
Okay, so Cash Calories is a new public health nutrition campaign, and it's all about putting the concept of eating in moderation into practice. We want to focus less on what we should and shouldn't be eating, and more on just a healthy lifestyle. So overall, what's your dietary patterns there? So Cash Calories kind of puts a money spin on calories. We base it on people's daily needs for calories are around about 2,000 calories a day. Okay. So then we give them cash, which corresponds with that. It's fake cash, not real cash there.
Okay. For viewers back home who are watching, the campaign Cash Calories, why did it come about and what's it all about?
So it came about, I'm sure Litia is well aware of this, but I know coming to Fiji, I found it wasn't necessarily what we're putting on our plates, but how high we're stacking our plates. And so that sort of corresponded with, right now we're looking at about 67% of the population is either overweight or obese.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, and this is the latest stats?
Yeah, that's the latest we've got. Yes. Last evaluation was 10 years ago, and it's risen by 20% since there. So it's just sort of, it's a snowball. It's growing and growing, the problem there, as well as Fiji, growing and growing.
Okay. So where have you done the campaign?
Mainly we've been focusing on Ministry of Health workshops, so we're focused on, we'll practice what we preach and then we'll send it out. Yes. We've also been around a lot of health clinics,
Litia, why are you laughing? What's wrong? It's not working?
Well, I believe she's right, yeah? That she mentioned practice what we preach. She was saying, she's trying to go hard on us, yeah? Ministry of Health.
Yeah, because we love our food, don't we?
Yeah.
So are you practicing this at home too, or trying?
Trying. It's a struggle, but I believe to be a role model, we have to do some sacrifice, self-sacrifice. To go with these calories, then we'll be able to be a role model from the Ministry of Health before we preach it to the public.
Okay. So because of the recent stats, you saw that 67% of Fijians are obese, and that's why you decided, the health ministry decided to bring this over.
Yeah, and it was that combined with the fact when you go to a catered event, it's no mystery where this obesity is coming from. The plates are getting larger and larger, and it's sort of an
I see a chart on the table.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that is?
Like I said, we base cash calories on the fact that most adults need around 2,000 calories a day. Okay. So what we want to show is that you don't need any special foods to be eating healthy. It's all about your patterns here. So on this side you can see that's one large meal. So you've got a lot of rice, a lot of meat there, you're washing it down with a bottle of soft drink, then having a piece of cake. Now just that one meal is 2,100 calories. So you've spent all your calories.
So what is that, juice and
you got soft drink, regular
and a cake.
Sort of serving from a deli with a bit of extra cassava.
So this could be anybody's typical meal, lunch for a day.
And
that's already 2,100 calories.
And it's likely you'll be quite full after that meal, but also likely you're going to eat some more in the evening there.
Oh my. So how are you going to put this across?
Well, if you note on the other side, we've got 3 meals there, we've got all these snacks, we've got all the drinks throughout the day. Now all of that is 2,000 calories. You're even eating similar foods, it's just in lesser amounts, and we're bulking it up with fruits and vegetables there. So we're trying to show people that it is possible.
Do you think it's going to be achievable?
Yeah, I believe so. For instance, like she was saying, the 2,000 calories is for a day. As you see in this pamphlet, a pie chart representing the distribution. Yes, calories. For the main meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is 500 per meal, 500 cal per meal. And imagine if I consume 2,000 per meal, that is the allowance for the whole day's meal.
Wow. So for someone like me, how many calories would I need to take?
Well,
That I can take?
calorie requirements vary, person to person. So unfortunately for females, we require a little less than males.
We do?
But it's only slightly, yeah. Again, if we're sitting behind a desk.
Why do we?
It's just
I
our
don't think that's
metabolism.
fair, don't you?
Naturally, men have a lot of more muscle, unfortunately again, and so they burn more calories throughout the day.
Okay, that's true.
So men would be at around about 2,000 calories. Women would probably be about 1,800 there. So we need a little less there.
So right across the board, I mean, if anyone wanted to come to you, you would say, I thought, wouldn't you need to calculate maybe height and weight and something like that?
We can get really specific, but like I said, we're looking at 67% of the population who are overweight or obese. So they're eating well above the 2,000 level. If we just get everyone down to the 2,000 level, we're achieving great things there.
This sounds really exciting. I mean, so what's the response so far? Where have you gone that you've done, like this, the cash calories?
I think sometimes I walk into conferences and there's a bit of a groan because they know it's coming up, so they
Oh!
But we're really, other health organisations, UN agencies are really engaging with the program there, so that's been great. People who have heard about it are really motivated about it. We always have people who are having that health kick, so they want it in there, and they're our champions for it. And we're also training dietitians around the country, so there's more
really
dietitians available to deliver it. So.
Have you gone to any tertiary schools? Or taken the
Not
campaign
yet.
through?
We haven't, not tertiary schools yet. We started it actually at FNU, but it wasn't for the students, unfortunately, there. So that would be a whole new avenue to get into there.
Oh man, this is really interesting. So I mean, for those back home who are watching now, if they're really interested in getting into this, like, where can they find out more about, about the program that you guys are doing, how to count their calories, what they need to do?
Sure, so for businesses or anyone interested in us coming out and running Cash Calories, in this year's brochure there is the website down the bottom. We've got a Cash Calories tab on the National Nutrition website.
Okay.
So you can go in there, learn more about Cash Calories, get all the resources if you're really interested. But what's really exciting is we've just started a new Facebook page. So it's called Nutrition in Fiji. And if you like that, it gives you the opportunity to ask dietitians questions and we can get back to you. Ask us requests so we can come and visit you in the community. And we also try to keep it updated with interesting facts, recipes, getting people engaged in nutrition.
So Letitia, tell me, what do you think the response from the locals would be?
I think,
Do you think they're taking it in and thinking that they should change their lifestyle? Or are they cheating when you're doing these campaigns?
I believe so. They will be interested. Like since to most of them, some of their families are dying young, leaving their families behind. And even to some families, before they receive their 55-year package, they have left the family. So I believe with those families who suffer, they will be more than willing, or even their children will try to be the role model in these Cash Calories. Since we are in a toddler stage, like Jessie has mentioned, we are trying to train all the dietitians within the 4 divisions in Fiji, so that they can be the hands and legs in the fields, and they can reach out to the communities as you have mentioned, to their nearest tertiary institutions, to their nearest communities, churches, where we can...
churches, I mean, especially villages, like the gatherings, all the songos and all that. How do you think that's going to work? If they're trying to, maybe a particular village, they're trying to, take this through everyone, every household.
Yes, like Jessie have mentioned, at the moment, she have mentioned in our earlier discussion that she is the one who introduced this workable, like miracle to the communities in Fiji. As she have mentioned, the stats shows that 67% of the population is obese, and obese, we all know, if we access to the website, it comes together with a package of diseases. So it should be a concern.
But sometimes the way, islanders think big is beautiful, and we're just big bone and stuff like that. I mean, how are you going to change it?
We've had some really great feedback just from our colleagues who have done it, and they said to me, they were like, Jessie, I'm so used to eating until it hurts, and then I know I'm full. Yeah. And
Everybody
said,
listening?
And then he said, at Cash Calories, I didn't hurt, but I still felt full. That I, he was shocked by this. So that was awesome to hear. And we would love to get into a village, and if there was a village Lovo going on, and we could easily run it then. It's ready to move, ready to deliver in different.
Okay,
settings.
for a Lovo meal, right? How many calories is that? Like
Depends
you're having
on
the
your plate
dalo, the
size.
palusami, the fish, the kokonda.
If your plate's got one level to it, it's
That's
probably around 500 calories, so that's on target. As soon as your plate starts getting higher, you're heading into 700, 800.
700, 800.
Yes.
Now, the other thing is, if you pour some Lolo on top, so this is our latest poster here.
Oh, everyone watching back home?
We've got 1 cup of Lolo, which is easy to pour on top of the meal, has 635 calories in it. Wow. Now, on a 2,000 calorie day.
No, but I heard that's good for your skin. I mean, that's why, we look
in
very...
small amounts.
Moderation.
Okay.
Moderation.
Ooh, this is going to be hard.
Moderation.
But pouring a cup of Lolo on top of your meal is the equivalent in calories as putting a Big Mac burger on top of your meal.
Oh.
Or the other options here
That's
are
gonna be a hard
2.5
one to
large
change.
pineapples. Yes. So we say don't avoid Lolo, just
Small
less
amounts,
Lolo.
okay.
Yeah.
Is there a difference if you cook it or
In
have
terms
it?
of calories, unfortunately,
Doesn't make a
not.
difference.
Make a difference.
Wow.
The calories remain the same.
So I mean, why has the health ministry decided to bring it on now? Why didn't we do it a long time ago?
It's a brand new program. It's a Fijian first. So we discovered it a while ago. We ran it at the first conference. Didn't think it would work. Thought it was too complicated. But at the first morning tea, we
Didn't think it would work.
No.
No, I think it's pretty simple. Like if someone, because in school we always learned you eat this and this, and your meals have to have a fruit and stuff like that. But no one actually came out and would tell us something like this and how many calories is in each meal that you're eating.
Yeah. And we knew it was working when we sent back 3 trays of muffins and had to request more fruit to come out there. But yeah, it is a Fijian first in terms of programs, which is why it's only coming up now.
Oh, that's really exciting. So when are you going to go to the public with all of this, with the campaign?
We're ready now. We've trained
So this is your first air on
this
the
is our
show.
first. Consider this our launch.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, sorry guys, we've run out of time. But if there's anything, Lithia and Jessie, you would like to share, with everyone back home watching, what would it be?
Just please get on and like Nutrition in Fiji on Facebook, and we can keep you updated and ask any questions.
So everything on Facebook has all these charts and all that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. So anyone interested to run or participate in the Cash Calories campaign, feel free to contact the 2 lovely ladies, Jessie and Lithia, from the Wellness Unit at the Ministry of Health. Well, anyways, do you want to pursue a career in film or be a film producer? Stay tuned. We're going to meet Film Fiji. Oh my, so I guess I'm going to be watching my calories now just after having that talk with the 2 ladies. But I guess joining the Fiji Wood Dance Competition would help me. So joining me tonight is Acting CEO of Film Fiji, Miss Florence Swami. Thanks, Florence, for joining me this evening.
Thank you for having us. We always look for an opportunity to talk about our special program.
Okay. Well, just tell me, Film Fiji is hosting this event, the Kula Film Awards and the Tucker's Ice Cream Fiji Wood Dance Competition,
That's
right?
right.
Okay. So tell me more about it. What's the difference between the 2?
Well, one, as the name suggests, is purely a film competition. And that competition is hosted in 2 parts. One is for the schools, a schools competition, and that's open to secondary schools from around Fiji. The second one, as again the name suggests, an open competition. That's for amateur filmmakers and for those who have a passion for filmmaking and they've left the school system.
Okay.
So one for students specifically, the others for everybody else.
The open category, they don't have to have any qualifications? I mean, if it's students studying at USP maybe in that field, is that okay?
Absolutely.
For them to come in?
It's for students who are in tertiary institutions. It's for people who are out in the workforce, not necessarily in the film industry, but they have a passion. They want to make films. They know how to make films. So we encourage, you know, people with talent like that to make a film and submit it for that open category.
And what's the response been like? How many entries are there this year?
It's just been amazing. This year, for the open category, we've had 19 films submitted, and that by far is the biggest number of entries we've had. The open category has been around in this competition
From
since,
when it first started?
Not from when it first started, but the competition started in 2006. The open category got included 2 years after that. But this is by far the biggest number of entries we've had, 19
Wow,
films.
that's exciting.
It really is, and it just shows the appreciation for this medium by our locals to tell stories, and you know, who better to tell local stories than our local people.
Sure.
So it's really been exciting for us to see the response to this category, and more importantly, I think it shows that we're really getting poised for a major growth in our local film industry. So that's really very exciting.
And how are they with getting people to act? Because I know with you know, with Pacific Islanders like ourselves, we're very reserved. I mean, so what have you seen?
We think we're very reserved, but I think when an opportunity presents itself,
like to show
and I
off.
think when you're part of a project and you know that the success of that depends on you, you give it your best, and that's what we've been seeing in the films. Everybody's just played their own parts really brilliantly, and the films over the years have gotten better and better and better. And yes, so
I mean, and
so
how has it improved? I heard that there were workshops that are hosted by Film
yeah,
Fiji.
for the schools competition, each year at the beginning of the competition, we do run workshops for everybody that's taking part in the southern division, in the north, the west, everywhere. So what we do is we run a full day workshop which is broken down into 2 parts. The first part really is our instructors, talking to them about what filmmaking really is and the different components, and then in the second part of that workshop they actually go out and make a 2-minute film which everybody critiques at the end of the day to see, you know, what could have done better. With that knowledge, they go back to their schools, write their script, find their actors, find their director, find their camera person, and they make their film and submit it to us. The only area that we again provide assistance in is in editing. Okay. So we work with the local film industry, the local production houses, to take on schools and mentor them and provide editing suites so that they can complete their film. And once
that's really good. There's a lot of support.
There is a lot of support from the industry, which I think is very important because it encourages students to continue their interest. And we've seen a lot of them go on to go to film school at the Fiji National University, which now has a fully fledged film school with instructors out of India and New Zealand. So all of that's very encouraging development for us. In particular, because of the number of productions that are coming in to shoot in Fiji, what we want to do through all of this, through the competitions and through encouraging them to go to film school, is to get our own people professionally trained so that eventually we will have a really good solid cast of local crew and talent base that foreign productions can utilize. And not only that, but they'll be sufficiently energized to make local films.
That's true, because I hear that there's a lot of production coming in, movies from Bollywood, hopefully Hollywood, right?
As well, yes.
Well. Okay, so just tell me, going back to the Kula Film Awards, how many entries are there right now?
In the schools film competition, we've got 29 films. Open category, like I said, 19. And then we of course have the dance competition, which again is really big this year. It's going to be really exciting and full of energy. 24 schools are taking part, and there's a new element to this whole competition this year.
For the dance,
For the dance, the Tucker's Ice Cream Fiji Wood dance competition. For the first time, we've invited the special schools to take part. So
that's going to be really exciting.
That's going to be a very, very interesting and a very encouraging development for us, because it just shows that talent is really across the board.
That's true.
And, you know, in our country. So, yes, we're providing that platform for the special schools to showcase, you know, their special talents as well. And of the 24, 9 are special schools. So, yeah, we're very encouraged by that development.
The Tucker's Ice Cream Fiji Wood dance competition. How long has it been running? Has it been running since 2006?
Well, it has.
Film
yes, the film and dance competitions have been running simultaneously. They've been running back to back since 2006, but the format of the dance competition was different. From 2006 to 2009, we just had Bollywood dancing, you know, so it was all Bollywood. We had a filmmaking competition which was in the, you know, English language. Films were submitted, and we realized that Bollywood is an equally big industry. So how do we incorporate that in this whole program? And realizing that song and dance is so critical to Bollywood films,
yes,
we thought we'd run an English, you know, a filmmaking competition, which would predominantly be in the English language, but we would have side by side, you know, a Bollywood dance competition, and that was very, very well received. It was we saw some very, very exciting performances, and it continued to grow. And we thought, listen, we've got to review this. You know, throw in an extra challenge, because we knew these young students could really create something. So we included Bollywood, which really was Pacific dancing, and Hollywood, you know, Western dancing. So that went on for a number of years. What we did last year was, you know, just upped the level of challenge for the kids. And what we told them was, look, what we want you to do now is create
Fiji Wood.
Is us. It's all of us here in Fiji. So what those dances do is reflect the multiracial, the multi-ethnic nature of our country. So Fiji,
that must have been very interesting.
It's extremely creative on the part of the students, and it's full of energy, full of life, and, you know, of course, full of fun and laughter that we, the people of Fiji, really are.
So it's a bit of dance and drama.
Yeah, what they need to do, it's purely dance. There's no drama.
Oh,
Fiji Wood dance competition. So what Fiji Wood really is a fusion of song and dance. Yeah, what we will see in those performances is a medley of the different dance and music forms of the different ethnicities in Fiji.
Are they allowed to get outside help?
We
from
provide,
you know, the dance schools around?
Absolutely. We again provide workshops. We get professional dancers to talk to them about things like choreography, stage makeup and costume, colors to use on stage, use of the space provided on this. So they get professional help in all of those areas. If they do, they're quite open to get assistance in whatever they're creating. And we're very careful as well that there's not too much interference, that the creation must be that of the students, yes.
Well, thank you for that, Florence. But we've just run out of time. But if there's anything that you would like to share with, you know, everyone back home, on maybe if they're wanting to join the Kula Film Awards next year with the high school or open category, or with a dance competition, what can you share with them?
What they need to do is very early on in the school term, keep an eye out for circulars that the Ministry of Education will be sending them. This whole program is done in partnership with, of course, our sponsors, various sponsors, and a lot of people come on board to help us, as well as the Ministry of Education. We can only go out with you know, endorsement of the ministry, so we're very thankful. But also, this program's on every year, so if they haven't seen any circular come out to their school, they must start talking to us at Film Fiji. But whilst I'm here, I'm going to take a couple of minutes to say please do come to the awards. It's on the 20th and the 21st of September.
Oh, okay.
And all of the school's films will be shown on television. We're going to be broadcasting those details over the radio, as well as publishing notices in the papers. So please have a look at the school's film. There's a category for most popular film which you can vote for. So vote for your favorite school's film. Yes, please come out and support our young talent. It's
yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it now.
Everybody's in for a treat, I can assure you that. So
Can
yes.
I ask you one last thing? For the open category, is there any entry fee that you have to pay?
No, there's no entry fee.
And the Fiji Wood Dance Competition, is it only restricted to high schools? What if there was...
For now it is. It's just for schools. But what you've asked is very, very valid. And I guess just as we did for the films from the schools, we kind of expanded that to have the open category. I guess at some stage we've got to address that as well. And I'm sure we're going to come up with something very, very exciting.
Thank you, Florence. Well, I must say, our camera crew can show you a move. Vasu. 2 and 3. So just like Vasu, you can be a film producer, cameraman, or dancer. But going on to a very interesting topic, which is rugby. And what's happening in the secondary schools now? Who's going to win the Dean's Trophy this year? Welcome back to Coffee Break. And I guess the secondary schools are getting more and more competitive with the Dean's Rugby Cup that's happening this year. Let's find out more from the Fiji Secondary Schools Rugby Union President, Mr. Silatolu. Thank you for joining us this interview.
Good evening, Jackie.
So tell me, how is the Dean's competition coming along?
Well, on the 2nd of August, we are going to host the semi-finals. Well, prior to that, at the end of this week, this Saturday, we are hosting our quarterfinals. So in the quarterfinals, we are featuring teams from the West and also from the Eastern Zone, which includes the big schools of rugby, Ratukanda Valley School, RKS, and also the Southern Zone schools. This year, featuring the Southern Zone, Assemblies of God High School. We have Nasinu Secondary, and we also have John Wesley College. We only have one lone school from the West, which is Ratunavula Secondary School.
Ratunavula Secondary School.
Ratunavula.
Navula,
sorry.
Not Ratunavula, okay. And how's the competition coming so far?
Well, we are at the crunch time for rugby now. Like we have all the top schools coming up. Also included in the Eastern Zone, we have 2 newcomers, Nabuso Secondary and also St. John's College, all the way from Mogalau.
And they've never competed ever?
Well, to my knowledge, I think only in the 80s where we had Nabuso Secondary School featuring. But I think after that, this is after a long time they are coming back into the Gokula Zero Deans competition.
Sorry, can I ask, what school did you go to?
Well, I did attend Morris Brothers High School.
Morris Brothers over.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the difference that you saw with Dean's competition back then till now?
Well, back then in the 80s, the competition was like we had a few secondary schools who were featuring them. Not as much as we have so many schools now. So then we used to travel right to Ratukanda Valley School, KVS, and in retrospect they do travel to Suva. We also have a competition in Suva. But I think the major shift that we find now is the turn of the approach to rugby. Then was more of a passionate game,
yes,
where they took up rugby as an interest. Now it's more into professionalism,
okay,
where you can find students, they can also chart rugby as optional or as a prospect career for them.
Okay. And how is that working so far? I mean, with a lot of
Well,
students.
we have tried to align ourselves to Fiji Rugby Union, Fiji Secondary Schools Rugby Union. We have had a meeting with them, so we've tried and align our strategic plans to go in line with theirs. I think that is the only way we can form a good pathway for our students. And we know rugby nowadays is turning professional,
Yes.
and it's becoming an income source for budding young players, and it can become a source of employment for them.
That's true. So it must be really exciting now, and I guess, like you said, more competition, more competitive, because a lot of students are starting to realize that they can develop this passion, this interest in the game into a career.
Yes, that's right. We also have seen the approach to the game has changed. We've seen the training programs have changed. We've seen the coaches, the managers, how they gear their players up.
Yes.
It's more into discipline, and there's very little aspects of physical training. What I mean is that you're supposed to be doing your own training. Now the coach is just trying to build the game up in terms of strategies. But I think the emphasis now on rugby is more on your attitude during the game, and it all is founded on a good discipline.
On the field and off the field as
Yeah.
well?
I think for most of us, on and off the field, we still do not really know that we need to be disciplined
Yes,
both
that's true.
on and off the field.
Okay. So with the competition coming along, I know a lot of young boys out there, you know, they're gearing up to try and win. Who do you think people need to watch out for? Which schools?
Well, we have the usual names of the giants in rugby. They are there, Ratu Kondabule School and QVS. As you know, QVS is the defending champion, and Ratu Kondabule School is there. And we have Ratu Nabula from the west. They are the lone entrant into the quarterfinal wins. And for me, the way I see it, I've watched a few of the games by QVS. They are a very disciplined side.
Discipline side.
Discipline side. I look
So
at
do you
them
think
in
they're going
terms
to
of.
take the trophy this year?
I haven't seen the other sides as well who are
Okay.
contending for the Dean's Trophy. I know for Ratunabula, they'll be very determined because they're the lone entrant from the west. RKS, they usually play with a lot of guts. That's how I see them. John Wesley College, during the game, they persevere a lot. If you look back on their record towards the end, they do persevere. Whereas for AG, a newcomer, I find them they're more into game plans and trying to execute game plans in their game. So that makes them really different from the rest.
Yes.
AG. And for Navuso, as I've said, they've come a long way now. So I think they've got nothing to lose because they are new into the competition.
But don't you think game plans, I mean, like the strategy that AG is using now, is a better approach? Instead of just going in there and just playing?
Well, I know, there are other factors you have to consider, like the weather. You mean your mindset when you come into the game?
Yes, that's
you have
true.
to have all those aspects. They are very important, when you come into the game. But on the game itself, it comes down to choices and chances. Those are the things that will really determine. Because actually what you decide in the game will be very pivotal in the
Yeah, that's
direction
true.
you are going to take.
So with this Dean's competition, I know a lot of boys are always interested in becoming the best. I hear that there are sometimes scouts that come in from overseas. Is that true?
Yes, that is like the case for all sports. You would want the best, you would want to take them out. They're usually there, and I think this is the time they do come over to Fiji when you have New Zealanders, you have those from France coming over, Australians. Usually they recruit our boys for into their own clubs, and from there I think that's where our boys begin to show. in overseas clubs.
So for those who don't get chosen, I mean, after the Deans, what's the next step?
Well, we always have our local competition going. After the Zero Deans is more into the under 18s. We have just revived the under 19 secondary school competition, and we also have aligned ourselves to Fiji Rugby Union. They also have an under 20. So from there we try and link up our boys so they have a pathway to follow. So if they finish secondary schools and they want to commit themselves to rugby, they always have a pathway aligned for them.
So that's the under 20s and then hopefully into the national squad for Fiji, or maybe clubs overseas?
Yes, I mean, if you want to don the national jersey, there are criteria, and if some...
What are the criteria?
Well, I think you have to undergo some physical tests. There's a criteria in which you have to fulfill in terms of fitness, where you can go through fitness tests. And then there are other criteria, but usually these coaches, they reveal all these criteria, so when you come, you know what are the standards that are required. So when you get chosen, you know you are there up to a standard.
Do you think that maybe these criteria should be implemented right from secondary school, so that when they're moving up and maybe building, their skill and their talent, that it's already there?
Yes, very good point you made. And I think just this year we've got that drafted into our secondary schools. We've had our special workshop conducted by FRU, their personnel, into selection, how you select your players, they have their criteria. And also early on during the term, the second term, we have been given our training program, being given by FRU.
And the workshop is open to...
Yeah, the workshop is open to...
Students?
To teachers. Oh, well, to be honest, it's open to teachers who have been selected by their zones to act as selectors. So you get been chosen by your zone, and then you have to go through the workshop. So in order to select your players that can be drafted. Also this year we are planning to send an under 18 team abroad. There's a tournament.
Oh, that's going to be really exciting.
Yes, that's a tournament in Australia.
And you're picking them from the Dean's competition? You're just handpicking whoever you think is...
Yes, so we already have our own selectors from our different zones. They will be here during the quarterfinals. And also last week they had one trial. For those students who are not participating in the quarterfinals, say they must have been in a school that did not qualify to the quarters. So they probably have attended that trial that was there last Saturday.
Okay. What about a student that maybe didn't make it, through the finals, but the selector saw that they had potential?
Oh, well...
For the under 18 to take over to overseas.
Okay. In that scenario, we always have the names been given to the selectors, and they've been voted by their own coaches, but then it's a selection panel who does the selection. So if they find out there's one that's not there in the quarterfinals, so they are also eligible to be selected.
Okay, oh, that's good. One final question. I heard that that you are setting up the Deans for women, for the ladies in secondary schools?
Well, it's only in, what shall I say, we're still in the planning process. But what we are sure of now, the Fiji Secondary Schools Rugby Union, is that we are hosting a for secondary schools, the girls, I might call it, under 19 or an open grade 7-a-side competition. Okay, we have finalized this in our last executive meeting, in which the zone delegates will have to go back to their zones and inform the schools in their respective zones. If they want to show interest, then they can always join that open tournament for the girls. So that particular tournament will be open to one girls team per school.
One girls team.
And it's an open, it doesn't...
just under 19?
Yeah, just under 19. So if you're 16, you can play.
Oh, okay, that's good then.
Under 19, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So when do you think this is going to happen? Until you get the response from the schools?
Oh, yes, we've had some positive responses from schools, but the way we are going about this is that we have to do it in stages and in processes. First, we have to make awareness of the game, and then the rules have to be known.
Okay.
And then the fitness, the skills, all these girls, they need to have this built up before we actually have a good competition to start. But at the moment, I think the 7-a-side is like a good starting point before we try and develop on the 15s.
Okay.
So this became of interest, especially to girls rugby or secondary school girls rugby after the Moscow World Cup, where our local girls won the bowl. So I think from there that was a good
interest came up.
interest, and really must have encouraged the girls locally.
Okay, well, thank you for that. We've just got to wrap up because I've run out of time. But if there's anything that you wanted to share with viewers back home, what would you say?
Well, the only thing that I would like to point is that I think we have local talent, and it is good that we always try and support and nurture in every way. Talent doesn't have to be just like your physicality of your build. You can also instill good values into young boys and girls, values of life, that will take them through. Rugby is a good sport, but you need to be disciplined, and that is a very important value that one needs to treasure to go far in rugby.
Thank you, Mr. Silatola, for joining me this evening. And I guess may the best team win. So we have come to the end of another episode of Coffee Break. Don't forget to like us on our Facebook page. And if you want to win a brand new coffee maker from Quartz or a lovely ZTE blade from Vodafone, log on to tv.com.fj for full details. See you again next Sunday. Good night.